And so we are called on to be like that too, to always speak the truth as best we can and always strive for greater understanding. And don't buy into this principle that's being sold us that ignorance is bliss. It's quite the contrary is true. It's like the three monkeys: hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, and pretend it doesn't exist while it just runs roughshod over humanity. And I contend that this idea that the earth is overpopulated is a lie from the pit of hell that's being sold on the public. And it's being conveyed by the most educated people out there so that we all have faith in it and trust that it's the smart people. So if you're smart, you will believe that the earth is overpopulated. And then you'll say, well, even by empirical evidence, you'll say it's overpopulated. I mean, people go hungry in the world. They're starving to death. People are homeless in the world. So there must not be enough housing. People go without clean water, so we don't have enough resources. You could say, well, look at Tokyo. I mean, at rush hour, there's just obviously too many people, so I don't know who you're fooling by telling me there's not too many people. Well, understand this, that people love living in the big cities. I've heard Alex Jones mention that human beings are like reef fish. We like to congregate in these cities. People really love to live together in compact cities, and you've got to understand that fundamental fact to understand why cities get so dense and populated. And if you don't like the big city, then you should leave the big city and find a smaller town, because heck, even here in California, you can find awesome, beautiful, spectacular coastal towns where there's like 50 people living in them. Gorda is an example. And then there's another one, Pacific something or other. It's on the coast. And, you can find towns anywhere in the state, any size you want. You say, well, there's no jobs. There you go, jobs. Everything comes back to money. You understand that this system is being run by the top money lovers, the top money worshipers. This is literally the God of this world. And the people that are in control of this world system are very close to the God of this world. They pay the God of this world homage and reverence and respect, profound respect. And they worship the God of this world. They will do anything for the God of this world, because the God of this world gives them their power and control over the colleges and universities, over the political arena and the politicians that work therein, over the mainstream media and the minions and the servants therein, and most importantly, over the money printing facilities and all the people that work there, because this is where the root of the power structure resides. They have the copyright to the money, the magic elixir, to the God of this world that operates in this way, that extracts his perverted form of reverence through financial fear, insecurity. You please me, and then I'll take care of you. You trust me, you trust your Wall Street investments, and I'll take care of you. And right now, the reason it's still working and hasn't fallen apart just by being exposed is because these people who are a conglomerate of establishmentarians, status quo, the people working within the system that want to protect and defend the status quo out there, there's a critical mass, and it's imperative that these people at the top walk that tightrope, that fine line, and maintain a critical mass of people that are benefiting from the ever-increasing debt in America, okay? Because you don't hear the mainstream media talking about how pernicious, how horrific this is going to be in the long term for maybe not so much for your kids, but for their kids. Somewhere along the line, the buck's going to stop, and our standard of living is going to decline to the point of extreme poverty, extreme oppression, extreme austerity. More and more people going hungry, more and more people going homeless, more and more people suffering insecurity, fear, unnecessarily. Their homes being stolen by the banks and the police being tasked to have to go evict people from their homes. And then we got the system trying to dictate morality to us and say, hey, you're wrong to be against immigration. You're not a humanitarian. Right down the line, we've got to call their bluff. The least you've got to do is speak out against these people. You have an obligation to your conscience, to your fellow man, to at least be on record to say, I get it. And I am not going to live in fear. I am not going to pay homage to the God of this world. I am not going to revere the God of this world. I see through your lies. And I see to be a part of this system is to be complicit. To not speak out against it is to be complicit. Just because I have to use money, okay, doesn't mean I have to trust in this system. Because if you took away the money tomorrow, and as long as people kept doing their jobs, the system couldn't break down. If all your wants and needs that you have today, that you've had all week, that all the things you used in your life, the services and the commodities, if all those things kept coming, the system couldn't break down. You just remove the money and it just keeps working. Do you understand? And that's what we've got to understand is basic economic principles. And we've got to understand that in order to set the captives free, we need a means to an end, and that is through sound currency. And this is what these people at the top, these people have their sacred money printing operation, which is the ultimate mafiosi, the ultimate criminality out there, telling us that you can't live without money. That of course you love money. Everybody loves money. It's axiomatic, it's pragmatic, it's common sense, it's practical. Of course, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be secure and prosperous and successful. So this guy you're listening to on this video right now doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But it so happens I do, folks. Because I want to ask you to define progress. Okay? What is progress? If progress is getting ahead, if it's prosperity, then how come we don't have it across the board? You think that's by accident? You think it's incidentally and just incompetence and things are just too complicated and convoluted and, well, we got to have the poor and if we didn't have the poor, we wouldn't have the rich and all this psychobabble logic that the world pours out there, and most people buy hook, line, and sinker because they don't use their imagination. They don't ever consider that it's all really a simple scam. And when you see through it, at least you'll be free in your heart and soul, your spirit and your mind, and you'll know that you deserve to go to a better world. A world where people like you are ready to live in harmony together and to live free, to be free from an advantage-disadvantage orientation, because that's what we have now. And it infects every facet of our existence. All the nuanced issues out there, all the problems we have, all the vices and addictions that people have, all the sin. It's written, Jesus said that, the sin must come, but woe to the man through who it comes. And he says that, there are things that cause the sin to come. So I say, ask yourself, what are the causes of the sin? What makes people engage in self-destructive behavior, escapist behavior? Why do they become sex addicts or drug addicts or alcoholics or entertainment addicts? They find one way or another to dissipate their time. So it's a way of rebelling. There's something underlying their behavior. What is really bugging them? Getting to the bottom of what's bugging them. It's crucial, at least, to take the first step in having knowledge and wisdom. And ever finding true happiness, you've got to be able to get out of the confusion that's been imposed on us intentionally to keep us disempowered, to keep us off balance, so that we never really know for sure right from wrong, up from down. They love that. So there's always some debate here or there. Well, he's got his opinion on immigration, and he's got his. But you've got to right down the line, folks. We've got to call their bluff. You've got to confront it. You've got to stand in the way of evil people. If you don't stand in their way, you know, until the bitter end, because there is a point where there's a cutoff, and you just got to say, you know what, I can't engage this person anymore. And this very thing happened to me recently. It was very traumatic. It was with my own sister. And, you know, she brought up this hot button issue of overpopulation. And I could tell she'd been hitting the sauce a little. So, you know, I really kind of went off. And, you know, I pointed out that, hey, why aren't you killing yourself? You know, because that would be the logical course of action. If you really believe that, then the thing to do is to say, well, you know, this is bad that the earth is overpopulated, so I should get rid of who? Myself? It's either that or you're a hypocrite and you believe it's okay to get rid of others through starvation or, you know, unclean water or, you know, homelessness, abject poverty, suicides that are caused by it, the crime that's caused by it, that you got your homicides out there, that's part of it. You got your wars, that's always part of it. One group of people doesn't choose to be subjugated by another, and you got a bloody revolution on your hands. It's the same thing could happen right here in America. If these elitists push too hard, if they lose their critical mass of establishmentarians, if they stop pumping money into the Wall Street and keeping that critical mass of establishmentarians happy, you know, that 60-something% of the population that's still benefiting from the market manipulation and the price fixing going on. If they lose that critical mass, they're sunk, and they know they're walking a tightrope, and that time is coming. Okay, the day of reckoning is coming, one way or another. If they wait for the return of Jesus, so be it. But that day is coming, and good is real, and good is more powerful than evil, and good will prevail, always has through history, and always will. And its day is coming in a big, 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 unprecedented, exponentially unprecedented manner. It's coming, it's right around the corner. So all the decent out there, all the righteous, you take heart. You look up like Jesus said. He said, your redemption draws near because it's coming. Okay? And the meek will inherit this earth. And they will be vindicated. Those that stood for righteousness and justice and mercy and fairness. Okay? Equality, equal rights, equal authority. Those are the ones that are going to be satisfied. Those are the ones that are going to be filled. And I want to be on that side of the ledger because it's coming down to one thing. You're either on the side of humanity or inhumanity. Okay? And if anybody that knows the least thing about history, you knew all through history, genocidal maniacs have risen up all through the ages. Ever, as far back as history goes, these genocidal maniacs rise up. These nutcases, insane maniacs, like King Nebuchadnezzar, bow down and worship me, or you're going to get executed. Nero, Pol Pot, Stalin, Hitler, Mao. I could go on all day. So the idea that humanity could not get another genocidal maniac that wants to destroy, like they say, they're very transparent about this. They're very open. These are the saviors of the earth. So for the greater good, for Mother Earth, we're the good guys. Believe us. We've got to commit genocide on this grand scale. We've got to get rid of over 85% of the people. And I would reference the Georgia Guidestones. Open your eyes and face the music. Wake up and smell the coffee, because this is serious. And anybody that doesn't think we're going to have to confront this thing head on is a liar. And you don't want to believe them. And even if you're lying to yourself and you've been self-deceived, it's time to jump ship and be on the side of humanity. Because God knows your heart. Okay, all I can say is, well, they say they're on the side of humanity. But God knows your heart. He can see right in there, see the motives of your heart. So if your heart is impure, remember, you're not going to be fit to inherit a renewed earth. Heaven on earth is going to be established. We're going to get bodies so superior that death is going to be swallowed up in victory. Can you imagine what a wonderful place that's going to be? safety and security and prosperity, not for some, for everybody. Born free. Free of what? Free of this system, this monetary-based reality, this paradigm.